Hello everybody and Happy New Year. I say Happy New Year because it's been a little while since I put anything out on my channel. So for those of you who like to watch, I apologize. I'm going to try to get some things out on the channel for you. I have gotten out a few times this winter ice fishing. So I thought this first video of 2020 could highlight some of those trips. Got out in the Rush Lake area and also the Mille area for some panfish, and we always had our tip-ups out also. Every trip we caught a lot of panfish. Went with my buddy Chad. You've seen him on the channel. He's what I call my panfish expert. I also call him my tip-up expert because he sure knows how to set those tip-ups up to where we're always getting some strikes. Well, watching a couple of guys pull up about 100 panfish this winter, I didn't think that was super exciting for the channel. So what I did was I took my Waterwolf camera that I use for summer trolling runs. If you haven't seen those videos, I'll put the link in the description of this video. And I took it and I put it down our tip-up holes just above our minnows. Pretty interesting to see what's going on down there. As you can see behind me, we got a couple of them in, but none of the ones that the cameras were on. So I'm still trying to figure out if the camera has something to do with it. No monsters, but they're all pretty nice in the winter time. Just kind of some good average fat kind of winter northerns. Now, you might not think there's any action down there. Have you ever had an ice fishing day where you had one tip up and nothing happened the whole day? So you figure out they just must not be down there? Well, I've got some footage that might show a little bit differently. So this first clip is actually a trip to Rush Lake. And if you fish Rush Lake, there's some really nice northerns in there and even muskies too. So we had a couple of big shiners down on two different tip-ups. And just before we pulled this one up, it was very interesting. The fish came in looking like he was interested in the minnow, and then all he did was he kind of parked right next to it. So here's what that looked like. That was early in the season. A little bit later in the season, my buddy was able to find some big shiners to get on our tip-ups when we were in the Mille area. I don't know about you, but it's been harder and harder in Minnesota to find some big shiners. So we were lucky enough to have that bait, and I think it made a difference. Our tip-ups were going off much more than those people around us. So just having the right bait down the hole really helps sometimes. Okay, so we had a tip-up to the left and a tip up to the right of our ice shack, and we're jigging up panfish, and every once in a while the one to the left would go off, and I think we caught maybe a small northern that day. If I have a picture, I'll put it up behind me. So no monsters, but you know, fun to have a tip up go off. Well, the one to the right where the camera was, we just figured out, I guess, you know, it was just one of those days, because overall it was a little slower than some of the trips we had had. But I told my buddy, when I get home, I'll check out the footage and I'll see if anything even swam past our minnow during that day. And I waited about a week, and finally, a couple of weekends ago, I got to looking at it. And it was just amazing what the minnow had to go through during the whole day it was down the hole. So I'll show you some of the footage of what that poor minnow had to deal with all day. Another thing about fishing with my buddy Chad, he's a pretty seasoned ice angler, and he's got a theory about how many holes you drill during the day. I mean, if it's really dead, we might make one move, but essentially his theory is if we stay in one spot, we're going to get the fish eventually. So it's almost like they kind of cycle in and out, and that's kind of the thinking, and it makes sense to me. So we've always gone with that. We've always caught fish, but the tip up it really showed that that happens. You'll see there'll be some dead periods, and then a bunch of panfish will swim in and be around the bait. And then the panfish will move out, and inevitably, especially this day, a northern would follow. There's some really active northerns that went after the minnow, but that flag never got tripped one time during the day. And at the end of the day, the bait was still there. And I think you'll be shocked to see how hard that bait was hit, especially one time by one of the northerns. So here's what that looked like. That minnow was hammered, but then about a minute later, just comes swimming back into the frame. Either the northern let it go, or it just missed it, but it sure looked like it got it. Just cool to see what's happening down the hole there. It's been great to be back with you. Keep checking back on the channel. I've got some fall footage that I never produced, so I'm going to try to get that out. And you know what? Before you know it, there's going to be some open water, and we're going to have some great videos coming your way. If you're getting out there, good luck. If you're down south, I'm jealous because you're fishing open water. Either way, hope you're catching them. Hope to see you on the water.